Hey guys, I'm back at home here after I just did the stick video and hanging the stand and my entire setup as far as getting up the tree goes. I'm going to talk a little bit more about my actual stand setup here, what I use and how I carry it, and the mods that I've done to it. So specifically, I'll just go over to Lone Wolf. I got a buddy standing here too with the cam and rope setup. But I think a lot of the guys, as far as the mobile stuff, as well as the rope mods and everything, are primarily using the Lone Wolf stands in general. So first of all, I'm going to kind of go backwards, I guess. Instead of building the stand up, I'm going to this is already put together. I'm just going to use it as the way it is and the way it's wrapped up, ready to go. I'm a big fan of using an IWOM. Everything stores in here real well. I'm from Wisconsin, so it's cold, and I use it a lot. I can walk in my, lighter clothes, and cater to the weather so I'm not getting all sweated up. And then from there, I can get up the tree, set my stand, put my IWOM on, and be toasty. It also works really well for carrying it in as almost like a backpack. Putting all your stuff in here, hand warmers to extra hats and gloves to calls to whatever, my release. Everything can kind of just get put in here, wrapped together. When I use my IWOM, okay, it goes, I'll show you in a minute once I get the bungees on, but it goes in the middle of my sticks. And all I do is I use two bungees. I like to use red. I don't lose them. I don't forget them then. And I'm just literally just kind of strapping this down. One bungee goes up and over one side, straps to the stand. Another bungee goes up over the other side, straps to the stand, and that's pretty much it. So this is what it looks like. To get all my other stuff, I got it over my truck out of the way, standing it up. So it looks like. The other benefit to this is, I know the new custom Lone Wolf expensive stuff is advertising it, but this will stand on its own. It'll stand on its own in the woods, it'll stand on its own here. Using the seat as a platform, using the sticks, the way I got the stick set up on this Alpha 2. I'll go over that in a minute, but there's a perfect length at the end of the stand, which also helps prop the stand up. And it's awesome. So this is just an easy setup, it's quiet. The other thing is that I'm going to point out right away too, is the simple little stuff that nobody thinks of, but it's a pain in the butt when you're out there. This stand, when I set the stand up, the end of my tailgate, it's the easiest thing to get it on. Or if I'm coming back from the woods, drop the tailgate, set it on there, take it off. Sets up for me. I don't have to worry about bending over, put my arms in, trying to stand up. When it's on the truck, simple, easiest thing to do. So, clips right on. Again, I've said this in another video, this is the XOP or game plan, tree stand, transport system that they've got. That's what I use. Pretty adjustable, pretty nice. I've got extra clips that I can take the back off of here. I actually have two of them. I got one over there. I know they don't offer it anymore. If you can find them, I prefer these. They're awesome. They're great. Easy to use with a belt system. You can get the mole setups. If you're lucky enough to find a wolf pack, great. Good for you, because I love those too. But that's the way I set my stand up, and it's worked out well. And I think this is going on 3 or 4 years now. I've used it, and it works real well. So the other setup, let me grab it real quick. The other setup I used earlier in the year, the backpack setup, where I'm not looking for all my heavy clothes and all that stuff, which is a real easy setup as well. Get this off of here. And, as soon as I get the hook off, there we go. So when I go to a backpack, like I said, normally it's going to be early season. Not worried about carrying an IWOM along. This is just a recon pack from Badlands. And what I do, get this off of here too as well, so I just got this is a Hook 360 or Hookster 360 by Hawk. I don't even think you can get these anymore. If you do, great. What all it is a hook wrapped around the top of the pack. And I know again, the new Lone Wolf custom gear, got a little slot in there for the handle or whatever. This here is 10 bucks. I don't want to pay that much for Lone Wolf custom gear. And quite frankly, this stand setup, weighed out, is the same as their new stand with 4 sticks. So I'm not going to spend that kind of money on that. It's not worth it to me. I got this one set up the way I want it. So early season, I want to carry a jacket, want to do that, throw it in the pack, and all I do is hang the hook from the stand on the top, and it sets on the seat just the same way, and it carries that way, just like that. So that's my early season setup. I got my rangefinder, a bunch of different stuff, my gun and stuff, everything's in there. If I want to take one trip in, I do. It's that easy. So that's how I carry. I'm going to kind of move backwards a little bit. I also, around the top of the sticks, so I wrap all my extra rope. This here, I wrap around. This is going to be my, tree rope at the top. You can also wrap your lineman's belt around here. But this is, for my harness once I get up the tree. Just take it off when I get to the bottom of the tree, put it in a pocket, climb the tree, get up the tree, put it on. So that wraps around the top. Lineman's belt can wrap around the top. The other thing I wrap around the top, this is going to be the actual tree, the hang-on stand itself rope. I just simply wrap that around the top. So that's the way that sits. Real easy. Just comes up the top, goes around the top of the sticks, and then it's up and out of your way. Just let the excess rope hang down the middle. That's the way I run that. So as far as the sticks go themselves, again, I use the stick talons. The guy's nice, it's awesome, he builds them. Look them up online, just Google search it, you'll find it. And I got 2 sticks on each side here. Put them to the outside so I can carry my I-1 or my backpack down the middle. And it balances that weight a lot better. So that's the way I've got that set up. As far as the sticks go, showed on the other ones, videos I got out there, the rope mods, that's what I use for a setup. I did wrap these in the stealth strips. I also wrapped the back of these on the back side of these V brackets. So twigs and stuff that I'm walking in the woods, it silences as much as I can. It's not a perfect thing, there's no perfect setup, but it's a lot quieter than what it was. When I set these this way, I turn the steps to the inside so they're not sticking out. Steps go to the inside, and they're right on the edge here. There's actually, and I'll show you in a minute when I get this other step off or stick off, there's pre-drilled holes specifically in the Alpha 2. And I took apart the stick talons because they were kind of wobbly. I'm really picky, like I said, prior videos as well. And I put the screws right into those preset holes. And my bungees then go over the sticks, and I put the little black knobs, the adjustable knobs that they come with, and I, basically just screwed them onto the excess bolt that comes through here. After I have the locking nut here, and then that adjuster, and all that is that top. I took off the whole clamp bracket on the bottom. It clamps to here, and I just ran the bolts right through there. They fit right through. It's the same size. It's perfect. It works really well. They're really secure. They're not flopping around. They're not moving around. I don't need them to bend out when I'm in the stand. This is an Alpha 2. It's big enough. And then I just took thread locker and put those little adjuster buttons on there, and that perfectly, when you wrap it around, the bungee perfectly sits right in there. So a nice little slot for the bungee to hold on to. So that's how I run that. The other thing I've done is stealth strip even the cables, as it comes as a kit. Buy that. The other thing I've done is I actually put felt into the talons themselves. This does 2 things. It does help quiet it a little bit, even though there's stealth stripping on there. It slides better. These top locks lock it in enough, but with the felt in there, these pop out, as I showed you on the hang in the stand video, with your elbow and your arm much better with the felt in here. Put the felt in there. Take the time to cut it. It's just sticky back felt. Put it in there. It really allows these sticks to slide in and out, not only quieter, but easier. So when you're not fighting with that thing to pop that out when you're up in the tree. So another thing I've done underneath here, I'm going to take off this other side here real quick so I can actually flip this upright. And be sure, this is another thing I've done before as I'm doing this, I always have my bungees start on the inside and go to the outside. Trying to go from the outside and putting them on in the inside, it's cold, I've got big gloves on, I don't want to be messing with trying to get that thing on. I want to grab this, pull it around, button's there, and I'm done. And it's accessible from the outside of the stand. So have your bungees run from the inside to the outside, whatever you do. That's going to prevent a lot of headaches if you're hunting a cold state like mine. In the wintertime, they just pop on. You don't have to worry about finessing them around the edge of whatever it is. You know, just run them around and it's on. So have them go from the inside of the stand around the outside of the sticks. Both the front and the rear are both that same way for me with those buttons that I just mentioned. You know, put on there and they just clip on. And it's really easy even with my gloves to grab those little tabs and pull them off. I'm not wasting time and I'm not looking for stuff. So, the other couple things I've done to the stand is I've paracorded all of these things. Mainly the reason is I do have a bow holder. I rarely use it because I've got a third hand back here. I put the third hand here because it goes in a little bit. It just angles in. I don't want the third hand hanging way out here. I want the third hand bow holder in farther so I'm not so wide. Okay, the stand is already wide. I'm a skinny guy, I want to be able to maneuver through trees, so this keeps that in farther, it doesn't catch on as much. So, paracorded this. The last thing I did down here is I've actually got, I don't think that you can get these, Pine Ridge Archery used to offer these, but it's just a cord wrap. Those are on the front. Real easy, real simple cord wrap for your gear hoist. Okay? And it's, if you can find them, great. If not, come up with your own system. You can wrap it around this front stand, whatever you want to do. That works really well for me. I've used it for years. So that's pretty much the main mods that I've used. As far as my stand setup goes, the last thing I'll touch on real quick, I kind of mentioned it out there, is the sticks. You got to kind of figure out which way you're going to set the stand by looking at a tree, what side the stand's going to hang from, left or right, depending on how your steps line up the tree, and you might need to flip them around to get the right, angle to hang on. I actually, on my top stick, this is my top stick, it's always my top stick. It's on the bottom of my right hand side, I always know it's there. It's the last stick to come off, and the reason it is I've got a double step set up here. That allows me to switch my feet once I get up. I can stand level when I want to, and I can switch my feet if my stand, I can't step off on the stick. If you're on the right side of this stick with a foot and your right foot and your left foot's over here, it's almost impossible to step to the right onto the stand. So now I can go back down here, flip this around, step up with my left foot and get on the stand. Otherwise you're kind of hanging in the middle of the air going, oh crap, what am I going to do? Now, I say this with caution though too. What I had to do was extend this with hardened chrome bolts. If you're a heavy guy, you may not want to do this mod. I've heard of guys saying that it hollows out the hole here, the bolt bends. Again, I've gone with grade A steel chrome hardened bolt to get it, and it's extended here. And I'm also very conscious of which step I'm putting out. So in this case, this middle step, top steps to the left, bottom steps to the left, this middle step's going to be to the right, so you can step with your left, step with your right, step with your left. I'm going to make my main step the closer one to the stand. The main step, the one I'm using the most, closer to the stand, so I put less stress on that as a whole. Then if I need to, for 3 or 4 seconds, switch my feet, I can always step with my left foot here, which is the farther out one, and switch. But that main step, depending on which side I'm using, is going to be the closest to the stick, so it puts less stress on that. So those are pretty much, I think, the only mods I can remember to go over. I guess if you guys have any questions, just put them in the comments, and I'll answer what I can.